Talk right into the mic for me.
Hello. I'm here to do a podcast. Michael AM podcast.
That's good levels.
It's good levels.
I think.
I'll trust you.
Let's see.
Seem to know what you're doing.
We'll get a little bit more of...
Got a lot of nice equipment in here.
Oh, yeah. There. If it ain't red, it's dead.
Is that bass amp new? That Mark bass?
I think it might not have been here. It might have just it lifted Eric's for a while.
Crate.
Yeah. But no, I've had that for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopped on that neodymium train early. I was like, what? This thing's only 30 pounds?
It's amazing. Oh, because it looks like super heavy.
Right? And it doesn't sound like it sounds like something that would be like 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. And then people will be like, oh, do you need help with that? I'm like, no, I'm good. And I'll just like lift it and like another thing in another hand. Like, whoa.
You're like, I'm a power lifter.
Yeah.
I just don't look like
I'm extremely strong.
It's like I was at the gym the other day or like a few weeks ago, and there was a smaller Asian guy there. Like he was like my height, but relatively petite, and just knocking out big weights. And I'm like, what the fuck is up with you, man? You're lifting like you're 6'2" and 300 pounds. And
I don't really understand like the muscle size to strength ratio.
Like muscle size is what we would call hypertrophy.
Yeah.
So hypertrophy is if you want to like actually build muscle mass, which is different if you want to build strength. So if you're building strength, you're going to go way higher weights and way lower reps. And if you want to like build muscle, like be a bodybuilder, then your rep ranges are like 8 to 12. That's mostly for building muscle.
Because there's those old guys who have worked some insane outdated coal miner job for their whole life, and they have these like sinewy airplane cables for arms that are just like so skinny, and they can just out arm wrestle guys with like these massive biceps, and it
boggles your mind
on the like I guess like a density thing, or not even.
It's just it's adaptation, right? Like the muscle adapts to do what you train it to do. So if you train a muscle to lift heavy shit, then your muscles get really good at lifting heavy shit. If you train your muscles at tear, like in bodybuilding, we call it tearing and repairing. So like if you're good at training your muscles to tear and repair, then you get better size. But bigger size doesn't necessarily mean more strength. Like I know a bunch of like jack dudes who like can't even hold a plank for like a minute, but they can like. But they're just like shredded all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
that has some practical use. I guess
if you want to be a model,
yeah,
right?
Impress people.
If you want to get whistled at the beach.
All right, I think our level. Do you want to talk into that mic now for a second?
Should I do my Olivia Brown impression?
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like Louisa. Like on the podcast, I know.
Oh yeah,
she sounds a lot like Louisa.
I've met Louisa a few times. But here, this.
Check it. Check. Is this is me? Now this is me. Hi, I play bass in a band. Olivia Brown band. She's got a good band.
Yeah,
she's good.
Some of that
yeah. I was watching her after I listened to the podcast again. I was like, I just went onto YouTube and was like checking her out, and then like fishing around on her Instagram page.
She recently posted that thing where she's playing a Bach cello duet, and she's.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She's playing the one cello part on the bass and singing the other part.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
That's unacceptable.
Was that on her Instagram page?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go check that out. Yeah, it's unacceptable.
She posted that on like Christmas Day or Boxing Day, and I was about to be like, you know what, some of us are trying to fucking spend some time in our families, not feel bad about not practicing.
Not feel bad about not being able to like sing Bach cello.
Yeah, just sing counterpoint against their bass. But then I was like, whatever, you enjoy being amazing, I'll just suck with my slide guitar.
Just sit here and loathe in my mediocrity.
All right, cool. I'm gonna make some coffee.
Yeah, sweet.
How you doing, Mike AM? it's a good day for a podcast. He said, yeah, let's do it. I said, fuck yeah, okay, let's do it. And that's how it happened, and it's happening now.
What is the flow, man? Like,
Whoa.
it's always changing.
You just get
We're
in
going to
that,
get deep and
you
profound
just-
super
you just
early.
Get in that canoe.
Is this your intro song?
No,
I switched it up.
this is the middle of the podcast song. And now I don't even know how to turn this off. Whew.
Really? I feel like a keyboard enhances every conversation.
Should I have it on sort of
I'm going to start
quiet?
doing that with my kids. They're like, Alice, can I talk to you for a moment? So, today, how was school?
Wait. It has different grooves.
Well, yeah, for different conversation topics. Right?
What conversation is it?
Politics. This is
Politics? Oh, shit.
This is deep, heavy underground politics.
Give us to your son or just to a friend?
No, to my son.
Why are we on strike, Dad?
Yeah, we've had this conversation. Why is nihilism being taught in German schools, Dad?
How old is your son?
5.5. It's very advanced.
Daddy, why is nihilism being taught in German schools?
Well, son, because they haven't had the teachings of emptiness yet. Because they don't believe in karma.
Tell us about that, Steve.
What?
The yoga teacher.
Emptiness or karma?
Boom, and the show started.
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to make an observation.
Yeah.
Nirvana cup, Nirvana poster.
We like Nirvana in this house.
I also like Nirvana in my house.
It did smell like Teen Spirit when I walked in.
This is going to be a good one.
Michael's like, I'm gonna get you guys snacks, and then and he's like, okay, I can offer you a bruised banana. Well, it's not that bruised.
Popcorn.
I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get up as early as I thought I was going to.
It was like the best intro ever. Because I honestly was like, shit, if there is snacks, I'm not even hungry. And I'm
Excellent.
gonna feel rude.
I'm not going to lie to you on the way here. I was like, I don't know if Michael's going to get snacks. Should I stop and get a muffin?
Oh,
That was the narrative in my head, but then I didn't.
all right. So,
Because most mornings I'll just drink a coffee anyway, and I'm good for a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, this is an early one. Like, I can't eat these snacks if they're there.
so I'm gonna drop a recipe on you. We can make it live. Graham crackers, peanut butter, and chunks of dark chocolate with a little sprinkle of salt.
Nice.
Are
Holy.
yeah,
That sounds-
but you get the non-sweet peanut butter, just the straight
just
up chunky peanuts.
Straight edge peanut butter.
Straight edge peanut. Yeah, exactly. I'm not about that. Extra processed sugar life. I like sugar in my chocolate. Don't get me wrong.
No
but-
alcohol in your peanut butter either. No
Yeah.
drugs or alcohol in your peanut butter. Your peanut butter doesn't like to have any fun.
That sounds good. If it's closer to lunchtime, I might be down to make that live.
I'm going to try that.
All right, cool. So that's what's on the docket for today.
You don't have a notebook or anything today.
You know what? I'm hot off a conversation with Dr. Shields, the guitarist.
Oh, Dr. Shields.
And
Yes.
Is he actually a doctor now?
yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
He's definitely a doctor.
So I'm on this improvisation, just, get in that canoe.
Whatever shows up, man.
Yeah.
Shows up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bob Shields in ages.
What have you guys been up to?
I want to say same old, but not same old, same old. Like when did I have a daughter when we talked last? That was last year, right?
I think
Yeah.
that was relatively new.
Okay. So yeah,
Let's say
I still have 2 kids.
think you were here a year ago.
I still teach yoga.
Nice.
Oh,
You still have 2 kids. That's an
still have 2
accomplishment,
kids.
man.
Yeah, one of them is not. Neither of them have died yet, so that's good.
Well, there's many
we haven't
things
had
that can
another-
happen
we haven't
to
had
them. You
another
know,
one.
they can just like pack up. They'd be like, you know what, Dad, I'm over this.
Oh, sometimes
You know,
yeah.
let me have
especially
snacks
the 5-year-old
after
is
6
sometimes
o'clock.
like, I'm done with you, Dad.
I'm packing.
I don't want to be in your family anymore.
What's the coldest shit that one of your kids has said to you, and you're like, I know you don't mean that, but that's really hurtful. Like, have you ever seen a kid be like, all right, Daddy's here to take you home, and they're just like, I only love Mommy. And
Yeah,
he's like, you see his heart
It's never been
shatter
anything
a little
that.
bit.
It's never been anything like that witty, but like straight up was like, "You're an awful dad." And well, he didn't say awful, but he's like, "You're a bad dad.
Yeah.
You're the worst dad."
You're like, I know this is because I'm not letting him have more chicken
It was
nuggets.
no,
but-
it was like chocolate or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
something like that. I wasn't giving him what he wanted, and he's like, that's his response. You're awful at what you.
hey
do.
man, I'm trying really hard here.
Hi.
I know you don't
Hate
understand
you.
this right now because you really got your
Wow.
But it's I don't know.
chocolate is the
I'm
most
cool,
important
I'm
thing.
cool with it. Like sometimes my kids get like that, but I was like that. I was an asshole when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like I was an angry little kid. So this is why like at least once a month I call my mom and say I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mom.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Well,
Does she tell you to like stop apologizing ever?
No.
No? She likes it every time.
Yeah, oh for sure.
She's like, oh yeah, you were a dick.
I was
You-
no, because that can be her like I was right the whole time sort of moment.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And that's like a gift you can give her.
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
sorry, Mom, you were right. You were totally right. Not about going to school for computers. I was right. Going to school for drums.
You did make the right call with that.
I totally did. I don't want to be on a computer.
Yeah.
I don't like computers that much. But yeah, that was probably the rudest thing that he's ever said. And it wasn't even terrible. It was just like I felt it deep down in my soul because I was like, I want to be a good dad. And he's like, you're doing a terrible job. You need to go back to school and train harder.
I should start calling my mom. Well, I live with my mom, but I should start calling her and apologizing because when I was young, I used to always like reenact storybooks that I liked and movies that I liked. And my go-to was Snow White. And I always made my mom the evil step queen.
Oh, that's
And I feel like that might have hurt her feelings because she's pretty nice.
just like, that's how you see me. It's evil.
Yeah, Dad's the prince, and you were the step queen.
Oh, that's even a bigger jab, right?
There's only one Snow White. in the
Somebody's got to be
story.
the evil step, like
Yeah.
the evil step queen.
She's like, can I be a dwarf? I'm sure, or like, can I be like a forest animal? Like, can I be the hunter? I don't know, but I should probably say sorry.
That could be a fun role to play, though. If you're
If
you're
you're
casting-
3 and you're in love with I don't know, stories.
who's an evil, like Maleficent in the. Yeah. Would you cast her in that role?
Oh, that would be epic,
Right?
Probably.
'Cause
If I'd seen that movie, it would've
If
been
it's
that
like, hey,
one,
Dad,
know.
you're the Joker, you'd be like sick.
Oh no, I told my son is all about that, and my daughter too. They're all like, "You're going to be this person," and because they always want to be the superhero, like the kids.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm always the evil villain. I love that shit. I love being the evil villain.
Like, I actually don't know. Maybe she did love it. It's just a thought that I have once in a while. I'm like, man, that was like every time. She was always the bad guy.
Did your parents really play along when you were acting too? Like they were in character.
I think so.
Cool. I like that. I love doing stuff like that.
They're pretty sick.
I'm just trying to remember of like all the things that we talked about last time I was here. Oh, the book came out.
Nice.
So
That was in the
pretty
notebook
sick.
where I did take notes. I'm prepared, but I was like, trust the process. This stuff will come up organically.
Yeah.
But
By simple questions like what's new?
yeah, sorry for patting myself on the back for no reason.
As you should.
But
Yeah.
your book came out.
So the book came out last April, so that was pretty cool. It's surreal because now it's out there, right? It's like putting out an album, or like now you're out there. And you just wait for criticism.
Wait for criticism.
Yeah. It's
No,
scary.
so the book's good. Sales are going well. I think we've sold over 700 copies so far.
Oh, cool.
which isn't terrible for the book of its kind. Like,
Yeah.
I wrote a book with a guy and a girl, and it's like a clinical manual for mental health care practitioners
He's
on how to use yoga in mental health work.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But because of the kind of book it is, because it's an evidence-based, peer-reviewed scientific manual, which apparently I have to say with a British accent because that makes it sound more important.
Did you decide that? Did you make that rule
Yes,
for yourself?
Yes. Whenever I talk about the book, it's said in this kind of way.
Have they asked you to stop doing it, or are they
No,
cool with it?
everybody's cool with it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so the book came out. Sales are going well. Yeah. I haven't seen any residual checks yet, but just waiting.
That's not what it's about.
Just waiting. It's going to be like a hit me with your best shot kind of thing, I'm hoping.
You're
Right? I'm just going to get
helping
residuals forever.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I watched the. There was like a chat you guys posted on YouTube. It was like you and the other two authors of the book, and
I don't remember.
okay, dang. Here,
What was it on YouTube?
yeah,
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, it was it was probably a part of a podcast.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like the other writer.
Yes, Tim and Jessica. Yeah. We were on a
'Cause-
video podcast called Act in Context, I think was the name. So ACT, which is acceptance and commitment therapy, is the modality that we work in. So it's the mental health, like it's the sort of like cognitive behavioral circle that we work in. So as part of that podcast, yeah, I remember that. Okay,
So the three of you are coming at the topic from like different, your different professional standpoints.
yeah,
right?
or whatever it is that we sort of specialize within the book. So mine was more, although I did write some of the first chapters about, so things like human suffering and how that relays into what we're seeing within cognitive behavioral sciences these days, and then how yoga sort of fits in with that. And how a lot of like modern Western cognitive behavioral sort of theories are very confluent with a lot of yoga philosophy. So that was more my thing. Tim's thing, like if we have to pigeonhole ourselves, Tim's thing was more coming at human suffering from a modern sort of scientific evidence-based standpoint. And then Jess, her background was the whole health stuff in the book. So talking about how to apply that to things like sleeping habits and dietary habits and sort of just how you move in the world. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And mine was more of like I wrote more of the second chapter, which was the movement practice. So like all of the yoga stuff and then describing the movements and things like that. Oh, I should have brought a copy.
That's so cool.
Mother effer.
What's it called?
It's called Mindful Yoga-Based Acceptance and Commitment Therapy.
Cool.
We just call it My Act, though. My Act is way better.
My act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That is all.
I love that yoga can be like if you have a morning practice, you can like check in with everything that's going on in your body, and it just kind of like sets the tone for your whole day. You know how to kind of respond in every situation. And I wanted to ask you,
Hopefully you know how to respond in every situation.
I mean,
I'm no Dalai Lama, but
no.
do my best.
You get in that. It just prepares you to get in that
For sure
canoe.
it does. I totally agree with that. Yeah. That's why I love when Olivia walked in this morning and she had her yoga mat with her.
Yeah. That was random.
Yeah.
I was like, I woke up and I was like, well, I know that I'm going to be going there later this afternoon, but do I want to go back to my house after? And I was like, no. I'm just going to bring all the things and go on an adventure after this.
Nice.
So, got my laptop, and I just got a bunch of things to simply record, or record simply. What? And it's so confusing and hilarious to try. So I'm going to see if I can edit some of the things I recorded on Thursday.
Cool.
Ooh.
But I don't want to be good at mixing. I just want to be good at making demos. And then I can be like, all right, guys, here's the plan. So that's
Yeah, because
what
on
I'm
your last
confused.
podcast with him, I think we were creeping each other's podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's how you can hang out.
You come to the band with most of the stuff already there. Like you said, the skeleton is already there.
Yeah. So this is fun because now I also like am just creating more options to get the ideas out when they're fresh.
Cool.
Like I have so many random things on my phone right now that I would like to have like a more not formalized version, but just a clearer version of what it is. And then yeah, it'll be easier to get things done.
Sweet.
And it's also just fun to learn new things.
It's like to record.
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
What are you recording through?
What's that called? The Focusrite. It's just a little scarlet box. And then I put a cord in my keyboard and there's like a USB and it goes into my computer. So I don't even know what these things are called. I'm just hitting like space bar.
Do you have a tiny keyboard here?
Do I have a tiny keyboard?
Is that
here?
what you're telling me?
No, but I know you got a tiny keyboard.
Oh, sick.
Where's that? What other song options do you have on that thing? It
There was like
looks
a
pretty.
good 20 rhythms on there.
Oh my god, look
The
at
world's
this.
your oyster. With the Yamaha, what's this model?
So this is the Yamaha PSS
This is a Price is Right
100
plug.
Porta Sound digital recording keyboard. It looks like it measures your voice style. What the hell does that mean?
What's my voice style?
It says it's normal. It says it's on voice style 1. Oh, that's the volume. Holy crap.
I like how as the volume gets higher, the sustain on the notes gets longer. Like when you turn the volume down, the sustain...
It has a sustain fader.
But it's almost like a natural sort of digital distortion that's put on it, which is kind of neat.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. There's a voice variator.
You can mellow or brighten the tone.
This is the brightest it gets. That's dark. I'm so good at this one. Oh my god. Okay, wait, where's this? How do you get a beat going?
Play us something dark and spooky.
Oh.
I like the impromptu miking that's happening right now.
Dark and spooky. Yeah. Imagine wet leaves on the ground and it's gray outside.
That's what it's like right now.
Oh my god! Oh, stop. Okay.
Use that one.
What the hell does... What number is this?
It's the style setting. So you go to style and you go like B2 and then
Oh.
you play a chord and it'll outline that chord with grooviness. That's funky.
This is sick. What conversation goes with this song?
That's a good question.
The one we're having. Which is dance off.
I'm on a podcast with Michael in the AM. Last time it was the PM.
Mine was mid-afternoon.
Now it's really the AM. Keyboard coming your way. The bass line.
That's that Super Nintendo
Begging it down,
shit.
down.
What?
Begging it down, down. Is anybody else in the room into mono neon these days?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh,
That's just what it reminded me
golly,
of.
yes.
I've just been watching a lot of him on Instagram lately.
He's pretty awesome.
This is an official Mono Neon's shout out.
Can,
That guy's pretty kick-ass.
we should FaceTime him in here.
That would be awesome.
Do you think he'd answer if we tried? Like,
Yeah, like get him on Instagram.
Get Mono Neon on here right now.
This will be the most legendary moment in
I don't
music
even know
podcast
how.
history.
For sure. It's just
First
like,
of all-
who do you want to talk to right now? Mono Neon. Let's get him on the line.
First of all, FaceTime, I realize, is from Facebook. So that just goes to show how clearly.
No, but you can just get him to go live on his own Instagram with
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey.
Drop
just
in on a
wondering-
podcast right now.
Wondering.
Yo,
I'm
Mono,
with-
we're talking about you.
I'm
You want to talk
on
about us?
a podcast.
Yeah, just like act like he knows
right
who you
now.
are, and then he'll feel bad.
And we
Like, oh shit,
love you.
my buds want
Would
to hang out online. Who are they
be
again?
down to go live, or maybe could you? How should he contact us? Call us?
I don't know. Is that Sid giving him your number? Like, Mono Neon, give me a call.
Oh my god, that's insane. No. If you would be down to Mono Neon. Hey, would you be down to go live right now and talk with us? We are from Canada, and
That's a selling feature.
and that's all.
I feel like that would be a good selling feature. Though. You're like, oh, people from Canada want to talk to me.
Yeah, this guy played for Prince. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could play for us. We'll see.
I know there's a rigorous interview process.
I'm gonna give him a peace sign. Okay,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, I think that's a pretty fair thing. We'll see if he answers.
Hey, this is to Mono Neon, the bass player. Hey, just wondering, I'm on a podcast. Should I read this?
Yeah, go
RN,
for it.
Ultra Cash, RN, and we love you. Would you be down to go live, RN, and talk with us? 3 exclamation points. Very friendly, not too many. We are from Canada. That's all. Fire, peace.
Yeah, I think that'll.
Send.
It's sent.
It's sent. It's out there.
Oh yeah.
Mono
Yeah.
Neon knows we're here.
Maybe. Does he even know that he's here? He's such a,
He doesn't yet. That's
he's a
for sure.
Spacey cat.
Unless he
He's a
feels
spacey
it.
cat.
I feel like it's quite reasonable that we might contact him because I'm
I
sure
feel like
gets
he's the
gigs
Bootsy
through
Collins of the 21st century.
I feel like it's a good time to be a bass player right now.
there. Yeah,
I think so.
it's actually, it's quite a thing.
It's popping. It's
I feel like I should go out and get a bass again.
what's his name?
Yeah.
I feel like 21 Pilots guy took a stand against the guitars.
Yeah,
He's like, hey, other instruments are cool too. And now we're seeing a bunch of people who are like who have had that idea planted in their heads, and they're like, hey, other instruments.
The guitar players aren't the only people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, piano is more popular than ever now because of all of the MIDI and synth and electronic things people like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to see. And bass, the thing is that synth bass will never sound like a bass guitar or an upright bass. So that instrument is now like, it's, I think, still popular, but more people are interested in playing them before, just because it really doesn't sound like anything else.
Nobody wants to play the drums these days, though.
You don't think so?
No, I totally disagree.
I think
I
everyone
totally
wants
disagree
to
with my
play
statement.
the drums. You know who all
I think drumming is really exciting right now too.
everyone
It's so sick.
a huge demographic for people who want to play the drums is people who play other instruments because it's the easiest fucking one to get distracted on. You're just like, oh, I'm practicing this song. Oh, shit, I suck. And then you have to cool off by playing. Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
Because you don't actually have to be good at playing the drums to play the drums.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
with a melodious instrument like a guitar, piano you can kind of get away with not being super good and
instant results.
Yeah,
That's
because everything's
great.
there in front of you, right? Like that's what I always like about piano. It's like everything's there.
It's a lot harder to
Guitar's
just
so
flow.
hard.
Yeah, on a guitar for the first like 2 months. You don't know anything, and then and you're just like, nothing makes a nice sound.
Yeah.
You just push and nothing happens. It goes. I'm supposed to go ding.
So true. Yeah, and then with bass, you're playing one note at a time usually. So if a person is learning bass and they're like, the bass line you're trying to teach them is 2 notes, and like, that's hard to do. Well, it's easy to get discouraged. It's just like such an awkward instrument to even hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always perplexed by people who start with it.
Yeah.
Who start with bass?
Yeah. It's like, how did that happen? Because
I feel you just get thrown into the role. Everybody else plays an instrument, and you're like, okay, you're going to be the bass player.
I think that's
now you're the bass
usually
player.
Or some people, they just end up with a bass at their house.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of, I think, how 2 of my students that play bass became bass players. Someone just literally left a bass at their house, and they're like, oh, I'm going to learn how to play it.
wow.
But it's not like they've played many other things before.
It like finds them.
Like maybe, yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
An instrument that finds you. They're definitely both they're bass players for sure. If you like, they I don't know what that means, but it's like when I met them, I'm like, oh, sick. You're a bass player.
You're a bass player.
I know, because I just saw piano players all day. Like,
And you're not a piano player.
I know that,
It's a different kind of persona.
It's weird.
I want to recall something I'm poorly remembering from a documentary, but it's relevant. It was about this school somewhere in South America that takes like just kids who would otherwise grow up on the streets and gives them a home to study music, and they just like their whole like music goes side by side with all of the other stuff. They're being like trained to be high level musicians, but they say they start them on percussion and then piano and then bass, and then they're allowed to pick an instrument.
That's a cool progression. I like that idea.
That makes tons of sense.
For sure.
Right?
I love that.
That's what I like about what you said about messing around on the guitar and not getting anything right, and then taking your frustrations out on the drums, or at least like going to play something that you don't. It's not a melodious instrument, so you're not looking to create a good sound per se at first.
You're looking for a texture or an energy out of it.
Exactly. And then to learn rhythm like first, and then to put melody on top of that, I think is a really cool progression.
It's like the most fundamental element. If that's not there,
Well, it's
everything
without
else
rhythm, what else?
coming together won't make up for it.
You can miss your notes, and it's not even gonna phase you.
No.
Yeah. Maybe if you hit the edge of a tom on the end of a roll. Even that's not...
No, but then
if
you do it
if you play it angry enough, and then
Or
you do it again,
twice,
and then
everybody's
it's
like, yeah,
jazz.
you totally meant to do that. That was what an amazing fill that was.
Oh shit, this is jazz. I didn't notice. Sick.
One of the bands that I used to play with, whenever we were goofing around, we would just be jamming, and my favorite fill was just to like literally do like a tom scrape. I would just like start on my snare and just go all the way around and not actually hit the skins, but just like the mistake that you're talking about is the fill that I would do. I'd just be like,
That's sick.
scrape my sticks around my drums. That's going to be my thing. I'm going to come back, and that's going to be like, oh, Steve Ferrell, he does that sticky, scrapey thing on
The
his toms.
signature sound. Oh yeah, scrapey.
I want to hear it.
Got a drum set?
That's what's missing from here.
Oh, it was a drum set? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. We had...
You do have a cajon, which is like a drum set that you sit on.
Yeah, you ever play one?
Oh, God, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends at Mohawk was a flamenco guitar player. So we would always... And he had one, so he would bring it to school and we would jam on.
Is he around still?
I think Ben is in Toronto,
Yeah.
but he spends a lot of time in Spain. Like, he'll go to Spain and just, like, stay there for 6-7 months, I think, at a time and just study.
I want I want some of that in my life.
Do
it's
you?
something
I'll hook you up.
please,
I'll hook you guys up.
because
He's a great guitar player.
yeah. Yes. I've been looking for this.
Benjamin Baril, not that you would be listening to this, but if you do,
I mean, you know him, so you can just be like, hey,
I'll hook you guys up on like Facebook or Instagram or something.
yeah,
Get you guys like a little guitar date.
please. Oh, I'm so excited.
This is awesome. I'm gonna go to Spain in June.
What?
So I don't know where I should go, but maybe that guy knows.
Probably.
I want to go there and find wherever that music is happening. There's this guy I watch he has a YouTube channel, and like his buddies film him, and he just sits on like this step on like this like white stone castle, and he's smoking. He doesn't even like flinch from getting eye tokes, and he just shreds like Paco de Lucia style shit
Whoa.
all day,
Yeah.
and I'll just be like,
We should message that guy too.
yeah.
Can we?
Hey, flamenco
My
guy who
ears,
sort
no.
of looks like a handsomer Keith Richards.
And our Paco, like if you want to get him on here, like that
Yeah.
would be.
I'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
follow them either way. What do I look for?
All right, yeah. What do we need? Some candles. Draw a circle on the ground.
We take a selfie of us looking awesome.
How do we?
Send that.
How do we text through to the other realm?
Yeah.
Paco de Lucia is dead, right?
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that I knew that.
Man.
Well, now I'm embarrassed.
Oh, I thought we were just taking
The
shit like a step further and further.
Now we're gonna bring.
like
We're
now
gonna
we're
text-
now we're doing necromancy
Seances
to
and-
reach out to.
Yeah. Have you got a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Damn. So I had a student that made me laugh so much once. Well, they usually do that, but she was like, I guess her new song was teaching her mezzo forte, so she's trying to play that part of the song at a medium volume, and it's not working very well, and it makes sense. It's a new thing. Mm-hmm. Up until this point, she's been playing loud or quiet. So now she's trying to find a middle ground.
Whoa.
And then she's like, you know what? I think that this is just making it way too hard for kids like me to play piano. And I was like, really? You just got to try it more than once for sure. She's like, no, I think what we need to do is contact the creators of music and let them know about this. First of all, it's really silly that we have mezzo forte and mezzo piano. We should just have one. It should just be mezzo. And then she's like, so let's look up, can we look up on your phone, who the top piano stars are right now and send them a letter? And I'm like, sure. Because I'm like, who, first of all, top piano stars? I can't even remember who was on there. But she's like, yeah. So what we can do is next week in the lesson, instead of playing this song, we can just write a letter and send it to these guys and just see if they'll switch mezzo forte and mezzo piano out for just mezzo, and explain to them why, because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this is hilarious. Talk about procrastinating with style. And then
She's willing to tear down the whole system.
she's like, just because she doesn't want to try it a third time. And I'm like, okay, well. Then the best part, though, is she's like, and you know who else we should message? Whoever made that Canon in D song. I'm like, Pachelbel? She's like, yeah, that guy. He's probably the top inventor of music. If anybody can change this, it's Pachelbel. And I'm like, I think he's dead. But we'll write him a letter. So this is how I got to this story. But
How old is this kid?
I'm pretty sure she was 7 or 8 when she told me this.
Okay.
It's the type of student that is born to be a leader, but probably will have a very frustrating next couple of years because they will literally have a reason to dismantle the system.
Yeah, right. Instead of just doing shit that they need to be doing for reasons that they don't understand yet,
Yeah.
but will eventually.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty straightforward reason. It's you'll be able to do it. I mean, it's an easier time for me, so we get along better. And
I'm also just thinking about the amount of work that would go into trying to change the world of music.
I was like, yeah, you could do that, or you could just accept that mezzo forte and mezzo piano can be options because these guys are doing it.
And she's going to choose to pick at City Hall just to get those things eradicated.
Maybe it's more indicative of her worldview. Like she sees everything as binary, and you're like, no, it's a gradient, man.
Yeah,
I think that's
and she's
very
like,
true.
I refuse to accept this.
she's got volume 1 and volume 10, and that's all she's got.
Yeah, but she accepted right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay. So
She's like, there are
she's got
3 points.
She doesn't want things to be confusing. I think that's it.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
get that.
it's pretty interesting. I have a couple students that are like all about like they just want one answer. So that's like a really interesting music lesson to teach because it's almost like a life lesson. Like, I don't know how to tell you this, but this is probably the most controlled environment you will ever experience music in.
Yeah.
And just anything in. Because this is like a one-on-one lesson where we get to decide how we learn up to a certain point.
Well, yeah, because the pace
Yeah.
is chosen, right? There's no rush, so it's like the pace is yours to choose.
It's actually like, if anything, more
amazing.
controlled than being at school.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, because there's no timeline for progression, right? Whereas at school, it's like, okay, you're here for X amount of months or X amount of years, and you got to get as much information in you as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I agree, too, like with the life lesson of like, there's not one right answer for anything.
No, that's like, yep. And then you have the opposite student where it's like, no, we just need to choose one thing. You cannot choose 10 things. One thing.
Where you have to be the limiter.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's a really interesting one too.
cool.
Yeah.
Like they'll be interested in different instruments. Like, I want to play the ukulele now. It's like you don't know how to push a string down, and I'm trying to teach you how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on piano.
Yeah. Or it'll just be like they want to learn so many things at once or songs at once that it's like we have to stop
Yeah,
it so that it can
right.
happen in real life. It's like you're going to get it, but it will be too fast or you'll miss a big chunk that can only take time to grow. And this like...
You ever catch yourself doing these things and being like, shit, this is exactly what I tell the kids not to do?
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I'm going to learn this slap bass lick. Oh, this tapping thing, this thing on the piano. And then you're just like, oh, man,
I'm definitely that student that's like too many
Yeah.
versus like, I will only do this.
Oh, I'm the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was in school, it's just like, my teacher's like, okay, I'm going to give you one thing to practice. You just practice this.
And you're like, I'm going to
No,
do
I'm
20.
sorry, I can't do it. I'll practice this for 10 minutes at a time, and then I'm going to do a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's true.
when I get a really challenging student like that reminds me of me, I feel like this is what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this Polish term that goes "masz za swoje," and it's like you have for yours is the translation, right? and I'm just like to myself, "masz za swoje."
True. Yeah, it's really like insightful because you definitely do get kids that work on or go through a different version of everything that you've seen, like with music before. So like,
Right.
I kind of feel like I'm getting paid to take lessons when I teach.
Don't tell them that. Yeah.
That's the cliche, though, right? It's like the
Yeah.
teacher is always a student.
It's always learning.
Like, that's the same with being a parent. I'm constantly learning from my kids.
Amazing.
Even just about, like,
They help
things
you.
that I don't know about. Like, I don't know. Like, my son will be watching, like, I don't know, something on YouTube. Be like, Dad, did you know this? I'd be like, no, I totally didn't know that. And they're like,
Amazing.
can you explain it deeper to me? And then it's like, it's 5.5-year-old. Like, his language isn't very complex, but he understands some really complex things. And I'm like, cool. Thank you for teaching me that.
You see that he's taking it in
Yeah.
and processing it, but his ability to
Yeah, his capacity for understanding far outweighs his capacity to
verbally express it.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the conceptualization of language to that degree yet. But like he understands some pretty complex stuff.
That's so cool.
Like we even talk, like even for music. So he also likes Snarky Puppy, which I'm a big fan of.
Nice.
There's one song off of an album that they have. It's the album Silva, and there's this song called Atchafalaya. It's one of his favorite songs. It's kind of got like a New Orleansy kind of feel, like a big tuba bass line, and he'll just get in the car and be like, "Dad, can you play Atchafalaya?"
That's so
And I'm like,
awesome.
yeah. Or the beautiful thing these days is he'll get into the car and he'll say something like, "Dad, can you put on Blue Moon?" which is code for, "Can you put on Goodbye Sober Day from Mr. Bungle?" which I'm also a big fan of. Right. So those moments, but we'll even talk about he's getting into rhythm.
You did it, Steve.
I did. Oh, I totally did. Another one of his favorite songs is In Bloom I think In Bloom was, I mentioned that on the podcast
the
before.
Phils.
So he still likes In Bloom.
Like he air drummed the fills even when.
Yeah. Like when he sees
this?
me do it.
From these guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of his.
back.
That was one of his like his first tune that he liked that I was really into, and I was like, yes, Nirvana, we'll explore that for sure. But he also watches this cartoon called Storybots, which is a really cool cartoon. If you've never seen it, it's on Netflix, and it's like it's good for adults. Like I learned so much. I learned about my immune system and macrophages and white blood cells and shit like that. And he's like, yeah, Dad, the killer B cells, and then they attach antibodies to the virus, and the macrophage eats them up. And I'm like, what? Show me, boy. So they had one about rhythm. It was like basically a little kid asks a question to the storybots, and they have to answer the question. And so one of the questions is how is music made? And so they go through this whole episode, and in the end, they talk to the king of music, who is John Legend. So they've got all these really cool star cameos on there too.
That's so fun.
But they have little rhymes that they do where it's like fast or slow, that's tempo. And then he goes, and then my son walks around the house and he goes, short, long, that's rhythm. Which is super cute at the same time. But then we'll have conversations in the car about like complex rhythms. Because I'll be like, "El, do you hear this song that you like right now? This is in 5." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I'd be like,
Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a little while ago we got into a conversation about polyrhythms. And he totally you can tell that he gets it. I'm like, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then imagine that somebody is playing in 3 on top of that. And then what you end up with is like this. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I can hear it. I'm like, you're so smart. But complex understanding, but not complex language. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool.
I love kids.
Pretty
They are the future.
Yeah.
Because they're like...
And we're all teachers here, right? Like you teach
Yeah.
music too. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is cool. So we're all teachers. Mm-hmm. I used to teach music lessons, but I couldn't take it.
It's quite the thing. It's if you do too many.
I would want to do it
kinda-
now. But like what you were saying was like you like having conversations with kids, where before I wasn't into it because I was in college and they just wanted to talk about Pokemon and stuff. And I'm like, I just want to teach you the drum beat.
Yeah, and they're
You
like,
said you wanted to learn Enter Sandman. Can we please learn Enter Sandman?
like, I can't learn anything until I tell you about my favorite movie.
Yes.
Like, you can't get around that. I
No.
don't know how, if there's a way.
And these days I would totally be into that. Back then, not so much, but...
That's
Well,
fair.
I use that shit as like bargaining chips.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like, all right, you play this for 5 times and you can tell me about one of your new cards.
Yeah, yeah. That's smart.
That's good.
And then I'll be like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, I'm gonna fucking tell him about Charizard first.
Shred the sweet lyric.
Charizard enters while you're playing? Oh my goodness.
It's funny if you start throwing Pokemon cards at him.
Go play the rip, you little monkey! Wow, you are so good. Like all of your students are just ripping on the guitar. What is your secret?
Play to their strengths.
Yeah.
Play to their strengths.
You trade them cards? They're like, listen, if you get this right by next week, I'll trade you this for that. And I'm like, okay.
Why don't musicians have trading cards?
Whoa. What does that mean?
Like, why? Like,
I think no one could
athletes
pick on a
have trading
single.
cards.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of things that have trading cards, but like, you don't see musician trading cards.
That would be so fun to make. I've actually thought about making these as merch for my band before. Like something that has like a health bar or like their weaknesses on
That would be
it.
super cool.
Because I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
You know.
Yo, like booster packs. And then you can include like a couple of energy cards, which are just cool, like prints.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or even like your stats, like a baseball card, but you're a bass player. And stuff.
Yeah, stats.
Like your name, the position that you play. I'm bass player.
Yeah.
Like how long you've been playing for.
And you get like,
What's your
you
favorite,
release different
what's your
ones
favorite
different
tempo?
years.
Oh,
Right? So you get like a
yeah.
rookie card, and maybe you just play bass.
There's
you
like
know, that's the
pictures
only
of
thing you're
us
comfortable
as,
with.
like,
Yeah.
12-year-olds with our instruments.
Yeah.
And then like recent pictures where we're like the
Yeah, like-
evolution.
9 or 10 seasons later.
My rookie card is me with like a bowl cut that's going like this.
What? I don't even remember what I looked
And just
like
like
when I
reaching
started
up to a
playing drums.
piano.
Oh, that's adorable.
I would have had a sweet undercut with bangs. Pulled back into a ponytail, maybe. That would have been me when I started playing drums.
Nice.
Like 12.
Oh, you got to pick your haircuts, huh?
Sort of.
Sort of.
I had to compromise. My mom's a hairdresser, so
Oh, nice.
I had to
nice.
compromise.
Oh,
so I
okay.
could do the undercut, but then she got to choose the front style.
Oh.
I don't know what year people started caring about kids' haircuts. I don't remember anyone having stylish haircuts when I was a kid.
No, everybody had like the basic cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, well, do you want it shaved or do you want me to put the bowl on your head and chop it? And you're like, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Because now kids have like fancy designs and their hair's red at school. And it's
Shaving lines these days, like
It's dope. I'm jealous.
yeah.
very cool. Let's see. I think there's actually this is so random, but there's actually a picture of the first time I held a bass, even though I didn't start playing it until I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because, like, I went to this girl's birthday party, and it was Freaky Friday theme. And so I was, like, 11 or 12 or something.
Freaky Friday themed.
I think we were, like,
Birthday
actually
party.
maybe even younger. I think we were 10. Yeah. Basically, it was this thing that you would do a themed birthday party, and then all your decorations would be from that. You'd make a craft from that.
Wow.
It was a very fancy thing.
That's
that
much more elaborate than any of my birthday parties.
I
My
remember
friends all
McDonald's
did
parties.
themes
You remember those?
Oh, I never got those.
What?
I maybe
Oh,
went to a
man.
couple, but
I don't know.
I was super rural Southern Ontario, so like the nearest McDonald's was like 40 minutes away.
I remember getting a Nerf gun and like several Nerf guns, and then my friends just ran rampant with the Nerf gun in a McDonald's. It must have been a nightmare for all the adults, but
That
sorry.
sounds good. A fight in McDonald's.
So first time you held a bass was at a birthday party?
Yeah,
Freaky
and-
Friday themed.
And this girl, she like took pictures of everybody, like dressed like a rock star, I guess.
Because they had the musical scene in that movie, right?
So what they did was like their instrument that they had was a bass. So there's just a picture, like I didn't even play the bass, but there's just a picture of me like holding this bass, looking super awkward. And then I found that cleaning my house like a month ago, and I was like, this is so surreal that this actually exists, because this would definitely be the first time I was holding a bass.
And that would be the sign that you were, right?
Weird.
You're going to be a bass player.
I guess everyone's probably got a pic of them holding a bass at that party,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, why aren't we all bass players?
You made your dreams come true.
May-
And they didn't know how. They didn't know how to make their dreams come true.
Well,
And now they're housewives, or not that there's anything wrong with being a housewife. But it's like, they're not doing what they want to do.
hopefully they are.
Hopefully.
It's pretty epic. The girl whose party that was, her name is Emily Lukasic, and she, in our yearbook, it says she wants to do musical theater, and so this is her like 12 or 13, and I'm pretty sure she's actually doing that.
Cool.
And yeah, just super awesome. She actually did what she wanted to do. I guess we both did, because it says in the yearbook that I want to be a musician. There. We did it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I forgot to fill out my yearbook thing. What does that mean?
That's probably good. You know that it's
Any
just a
possibility,
yearbook.
man. Whatever you want to be.
Can be whatever you... Yeah.
Can I take a bathroom break?
Heck yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Are you going to just keep recording while I'm gone?
Yeah,
I mean, good. I just wanted to make sure.
We can cut anything out.
That's the great thing about it.
Am I allowed to drink more coffee?
Oh, yeah, there seems to be more coffee.
But I just don't know if this is Steve's coffee. Or if he had
I think
enough.
at this point it's... Because he came in with a coffee, and I don't know how much was left in it.
Okay.
But you could start by topping yourself up a little bit.
And
then be like, hey, did you want more of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course I only thought of that as soon as he left.
Ugh, I kind of want some more too now. I'm a good host. Just because I forgot to get donuts, to wake up in time to get donuts.
Oh, that's okay. It's perfect, because I should not be eating donuts right now. You know, when your stomach is like full and then you arrive to a place and someone offers you food and you're like, it's quite the dilemma.
Yeah, I think I'm happy for having had a banana instead of a donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, nutrition is dope.
Gotta save your donuts for like, I don't know, I already had some donuts this month, you know?
This month?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I think I gotta...
And I want to have donuts next week, or maybe...
I feel like I have a lot more donuts than you.
Maybe.
Oh, man. Sometimes I'm like... Do I eat too many donuts? Do I eat too much pizza? I don't feel like I do, but then...
I think you... If it doesn't feel like you're eating too much pizza, you're probably okay.
I think you'll feel like if you eat too much pizza, you'll feel like you ate too much pizza. Don't let society choose for you how much pizza to eat, man.
What do you think society is saying about pizza intake right now?
2 or 3 pieces.
A day? A meal?
Yeah, a meal.
Yeah.
Doctor recommended 3 slices a day.
I feel like I said that like I know the data on it. Like, yeah, it's 2 to 3. Doctor recommended.
Yeah.
4 to 5 doctors are recommending 2 to 3 pieces of pizza per meal.
Yeah.
The other guy says 7. The other guy says 7 pieces.
Oh, wow. So no one's saying no pizza.
No.
All right.
Why would you ever say that?
Wow.
You can't just...
Imagine running
walk away.
for political office under the platform of no pizza. How little...
You might win.
How
Actually,
much...
I don't think anyone would vote for that.
I know. How much... Like...
You should put
Especially if you
more
think about,
pizza.
like, if the classic components of pizza are now being shifted to things like gluten-free doughs and dairy-free cheeses,
You've
like
got
how
everyone
far we
covered.
go out of our way to make sure that pizza is still accessible, I don't think anybody's going to vote for you.
Yeah, really, now you're just...
People love pizza.
Like, you like things on bread in any proportion of bread to things.
like
We
the
got
same-
you.
it's
You like
the same with
Oreo
hamburgers,
pizza,
though, right?
Or
Like-
Dairy Queen has that.
Like, we're going beyond. We're going beyond. We're going so far beyond just to make sure that hamburgers are still accessible. That didn't start off as a pun, but it totally ended up.
I
as
feel
one.
like I wish they'd... Well, I definitely wish they did that with vegetables, because why is, a cucumber should be cheaper than, a cow. But
I get that.
sometimes it's $2 and you're like, are you serious?
Like $4 for broccoli. You're like, what is with broccoli right now?
Or peppers.
When everybody was drinking celery juice and celery was super expensive.
Oh, that did not taste good.
No.
And like peppers come with their own seeds inside them too, so it's just like, you know, when you buy this chicken nugget, it's not growing again. But every time you buy a green onion, you could sprout another one. Yeah. But it's still like sometimes the same price.
We're just not that far yet. Pretty soon you're going to be able to buy a chicken nugget and then just like have multiple chicken nuggets.
Oh, they're growing meat now. You've seen that, right?
What's that?
They're growing meat now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I saw that. Wasn't it on the... What was that documentary? The Game Changer? Game Changer.
That's insane.
I think they had a... No.
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
Either that or I'm thinking of that Netflix documentary of Explained. They had one on the future of meat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and I think that they were talking about, laboratory processed meat products. It kind of grosses me out a little bit.
Yeah. It's like... It's so much... It's kind of like my student trying to change mezzo piano and mezzo forte.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's so out of hand. Like, why would you put this much energy into this? Like, just deal with the fact that you should eat more vegetables.
Yeah. That's true.
And, like, you could put all of that stuff into how to grow vegetables in...
You're wasting... It's a waste of resources, right?
Conditions. Yeah.
I want to see that vertical farming shit take off. Where you can make like have you seen them?
Oh, they're so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the other side of like why it's cool that you can grow meat in labs is you could potentially regrow organs. If somebody needed surgery, you could grow them a heart made of their own body's material.
Their own DNA.
Or pieces of the heart. Because I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on how far that technology has come. I don't know what it's like made up shit from Grey's Anatomy or
once in a while Google will send you a thing like check out what they did to rats over here. And
you can grow organs. They're growing organs on the back.
I think where science is versus like what's actually available. Oh, this man had a heart attack. Should we grow him a new heart? The fuck are you talking about? He's just gonna die.
It would take them years to implement that on a large scale, and I don't even know if the people that are in charge of making that decision are interested in implementing it in a large way. Yeah. Because as far as they're concerned, the more, resources they have to share, then the less they have for themselves. Mm-hmm. So we need that dark keyboard song back.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bam, bam, banana. Dun, 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 dun. Those polyrhythms, man. Give it to me. 3 over 4. Oh. Yeah, no. There was... Oh, played me the song of my people.
The song of my people.
I'm gonna grow some meat, yo.
I grew a chicken on the back of another chicken.
Beep, beep, coming through. Special delivery for the lab. I got a chicken, he's missing a heart. We're gonna grow him another.
There's the next implication is then you're growing organs for other animals.
Whoa.
Chickens getting heart transplants.
So we've used the same heart for 5 chickens. So we got the meat of 5 birds from one heart.
One heart.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was just in the zone on that fine Yamaha keyboard right there.
Somebody's using that same keyboard right now to make some serious fucking music. You know that, right?
I bet Mono Neon would.
Yeah.
He's missing out.
Oh, he is.
He hasn't responded yet?
Are you checking?
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
But doesn't mean he won't. So if for whatever reason he does live stream, I'll keep you posted.
Sweet.
Sick.
I'm excited for that to possibly happen.
That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
not betting my life on it, but
I wonder.
I keep strategically looking over at your phone. Like,
what did he write in his yearbook?
Mono
Neon.
Neon.
Ooh, ask him.
Okay. This is gonna be so awkward when I meet him one day. Oh.
Do you remember that time you started getting random messages about being on a podcast and what you wrote in your yearbook?
Ooh.
I feel like he'd be into that, though.
Yeah. Have you, like, his little things at the end of his videos? He's, like, all about as weird as possible.
Yeah. Well, he's, as far as I know, he's the only person posting playing riffs along to people giving commentaries about things.
I saw this video where there's like a circle of people and he's just freestyling in the middle. I can't remember if there's a drummer or like multiple musicians with it, but he's just going off on the bass. And
I know recently on his page, was it his page or somebody else's page, where it was about him soloing. It was like Mono Neon with another ridiculous solo and same kind of thing. Like he was there with a band and just ripping it up. I like it when he plays bass with his wah pedal. I love bass and wah.
I'm just gonna send him a snowboarding emoji too.
Sick.
There we go.
Fresh carving, dude.
Ooh, extra quick.
What does it say? Read it.
Ooh, extra quick question. What did you say for your yearbook quote? Question marks. Separate text snowboarding emoji.
Yeah. What a boss.
Strong move.
Yeah.
Who are everybody's favorite bass players right now?
Right now?
Yeah. That's a big question, eh? Look at you guys.
Are they called Lightning Bolt or Thunderbolt? Lightning Bolt. Yeah.
Is it a band?
It's
Thundercat?
two people. No, Thunderbolt. Let me make sure that I'm getting this right. But this is...
Lightning bolt.
These guys just go into like this animalistic tribal rage. It's not so much...
There's blood on the floor.
That sounds great, actually.
The bassist is like so stoic, and he just like stares out into the audience playing these insanely fast, sometimes like ostinatos and shit.
Cool.
And yeah, through like so many effects. And then the drummer plays Keith Moon style, no hi-hat.
That was still your page.
And he wears a luchador mask and sticks like one of those harmonica microphones, the kind that you like, they have kind of like a wide mouth on them, right? And he sticks one of those into the luchador mask, and he's just like screaming through distortion, like while just beating the shit out of the drums. And the bass player is just like playing these disgusting,
That
distorted.
Sounds amazing.
Lightning Bolt?
Wow.
I think so.
Do they have an Instagram page?
I'm gonna look.
Here, I'll find this. I'll send you guys both this
Lightning Bolt
YouTube
band.
video.
Amazing.
And I found this, and it just like I found the video, and it just gripped me from start to finish. I'd seen the guy play drums on his own. He also does.
This the guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is Brian Chippendale.
Yeah.
Is that a real last name? Or is that like the dancers?
Lightning.
I'm not sure.
I found it under hashtag Lightning Bolt Band.
Band.
Do they not have?
I didn't see an actual page.
Brian.
They
That's
have a real
even
page.
better. Sonic Citadel. Does that sound familiar?
This Dead Cowboy. It's a 10-minute,
Oh,
44
yeah.
seconds video.
You like read it as I read it in my head.
Yeah.
Cool. Space shower digital. I want a space shower. I feel like I'd be like clean in a new way. Oh, amazing. I saved to my watch later.
Yeah. So you guys getting that? So it starts off with just a fuckload of noise. I think this is like their whole set.
Oh, this is beautiful. And the bass player is so seriously still.
He's ripping. Like I know you can't really hear
Every
that much on
movement
the
in
cell
his
speaker,
body
yeah.
is now just playing bass.
He's conserving all of his resources just with his fingers.
I think so.
And he's singing inside the mask?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this.
Nice.
So I was just like gripped by that. I had the phone like 2 inches from my face, and then I was like listening from the cell phone speakers, and the first thing I did once it was over was get up, grab my headphones, and listen to it again.
Amazing. Wow.
So that's someone who's inspiring me as a bass player right now.
That's cool.
So cool.
I don't even know what he's doing. I love his energy. And how about you?
Well, I've just been trying to learn Bob Marley songs, so I guess
Sick.
I guess Family Man is who I've been listening to the most right now. And then just random things. Like, I don't even know if it's a specific basis. Just tunes.
How do you go about like learning a Bob Marley tune? Do you try to pick out his exact bass lines and play along at first with exactly what he's doing, or do you kind of just get the gist of it and jam along and just pick out your favorite licks and shit?
This is cool because it's been like a mix of learning things in the past, but with learning these songs, I tried something very specific to see what would happen. So I listened to I listened to the tunes randomly that I'm trying to learn. There's like a list of like 22 songs, and then jam along with them, not playing the parts exactly. And then for each song, I've gone through and written out the exact bass part for each of them. And that's really cool because the goal with these is to be able to sing the backup parts while I play them. So I think that that's the only way to like fully wrap my head around it. But I also realized that for teaching bass, it's like a lot of these songs are completely perfect for teaching like major triad, octave, minor triad, and they're like kind of slow enough that the student could probably play them fairly early in their bass playing career.
At any point in your life is a good time to start trying to learn a Bob Marley bass line.
I think so.
You never get too good for it.
They're always hard for a different reason, or there's
Yeah.
always a thing to learn like vibe-wise. And what I have learned is that every single Bob Marley song starts with the chorus. Every single one, even if he doesn't sing the
Nice.
chorus, the bass part or some type of instrument will suggest the chorus. But I'd say
Foreshadowing.
in almost every single one, he actually does sing the chorus or a shorter version of it before the song comes in. I'm like, I never noticed that, but maybe.
That's cool because now I'm going to be listening for it.
Yeah, it's like Exodus was the longest
When do you
one.
use the word refrain instead of chorus?
I try to refrain from using it in
Stop.
general.
Now answer the question.
I don't know, maybe when it's like people singing instead of just talking.
Sorry, I'm still processing your pun. All right, I'm ready.
Like if it's a song that's like the chorus or the refrain, I would call it a refrain if it's like, what are we gonna do? Go to the zoo. Like you talk it, and then a chorus is like, what are we gonna do? We're going to the zoo.
Really?
That's interesting.
Because chorus is like a choir.
Oh.
But I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm just guessing.
Okay, so can we talk about that first? Because
I get where she's coming from, because from a linguistic perspective, that's what chorus means, right? It's a group. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's one person just singing,
Then it would-
still, then so it's like the vocal delivery that you'd say.
I
Is a
think,
chorus or a refrain?
turns-
I think, but again, like,
Because I grew up with like church music, and like a refrain was used a lot for like the callback part, right?
maybe it's a less official chorus.
I always use the word refrain for when you believe in things you don't understand. That hook and superstition. Would you agree that that's a refrain, or do you think would you call that a chorus?
Like the end of a blues form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the hook. What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
The hook is the refrain.
Hook and refrain are interchangeable to me.
That's what you're... Okay, I get that.
Ah, that's cool. I follow that, which means that a lot of songs probably don't have choruses because they don't have alternate changes or they don't have a differing melody.
And then there's the show tunes and jazz people who are like, the whole thing's a chorus. And you're like, what?
Yeah, words mean nothing. Let's be real here. Well, they should.
Lip
but
loopity bop.
Zippity
bops.
Slam Babbitt. Wow.
Loved your blah 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 Pacheco podcast. Blah blah blah
I'm
blah.
going to teach my next yoga class. I'll do James Brown. Down dog. Up dog. What? Like I say, count it off every once in a while.
Take me to the bridge.
My son really likes James Brown right now.
Man, your son's so
Legend.
cool.
He just like
He's digging on James Brown.
he's digging on James Brown.
Sick.
Not so much that he was an abusive person, cokehead.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's a movie that he watches called Robots, and there's a James Brown tune in there.
Oh, nice.
Get Up Off That Thing is in the movie, so he's
It is in that movie.
yeah. They actually play it as a group at the end of the movie. They
saw
play it.
that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
they're all dancing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a go-to James Brown album? Is there like your or is it more of a? Do you make like a playlist?
Mine's more of a playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Playlist. But I like to play along with In the Jungle Groove. That's a sick
Yeah.
thing because the tracks are so long. You just
As a
get-
drummer, I'm very partial to Funky Drummer.
Yeah.
Phil Kuti has similar
Oh.
styles.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
You ever-
a fun thing to jam along with.
Yes. Because it's just.
Too. I haven't done that in a while either, but maybe after the post Bob Marley experience will be an Afrobeat one.
Yeah.
You ever like geek out over like a certain artist or album or something, and then you just like the whole experience, everything that surrounded you with for that little while, you then correlate that time in your life with that music, and then you hear it, and then you're like,
Oh,
oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when I was like,
That's
you know,
true.
dancing to this every morning, or
We used to do interpretive dance to Mr. Bunko, California, me and my friends.
nice.
So it's like we would usually play that album after a show. Like we would play a show, and then while everybody's cleaning up, we would always put that album on. And then while we're cleaning up, we would do interpretive dance to like Goodbye Sober Day or like Ars Moriendi or something like that.
Yes.
So whenever I hear those songs, I'm like instantly flash back to like playing gigs, and I'm like, I don't know, like early 20s, like
That's
really
so
early 20s.
fun.
California was the soundtrack for my early 20s.
There's like a reggae album, which again, I don't know that much about reggae, so I think this is funny that we're talking about this so much right now. But like when I was tree planting, I brought all these songs with me, and I didn't really like a lot of the songs I brought. So I ended up listening almost every day to like the Thin Lizzy album, Jailbreak. And I also had this Gladiators album called like I can't even remember what it's called, but like I know all the songs on it so well, and it's just this really random band that's not as popular as others. Like, but those two albums listen to so much, and when I listen to songs from Thin Lizzy or a lot of reggae tracks just in general, I like instantly picture like trees and being in the woods and the forest.
Beautiful.
Which is like really interesting to have those styles of music associated with that imagery too, because like Thin Lizzy is like just this like rock, like just nice hard rock stuff, but it's like always just straight to trees and like being outside.
Cool.
It's very cool.
Even though the songs are not about that. Like hardly ever.
There's gonna be a jailbreak. I really like there's the cowboy song on that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was the name of the Lightning Bolt song too.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
That's
Cowboys.
today's theme.
Cowboys.
We're wearing cowboy hats.
I wish.
I forgot to tell you guys that.
You told me
Everyone's-
that I was wearing a hat. That I should be wearing a hat.
No, I mean the listeners. The listeners should know that we have been wearing cowboy hats the whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that definitely would have improved the experience.
You mean is improving the experience?
This is the premise of podcasts. That was the best line. I'm sorry of that whole podcast that you guys did. That you want to be the primus of podcasts. You want to be like
I
so
love that
underground. Like
One of my adult-based students texted me, like, I want this to be the, like, he quoted me to me. I want this to be the primus of podcasts. Literally you. And I was like, I mean, it's what I'm going for. And you know what?
I think it's a beautiful goal.
Primus.
I love primus.
I was going to an open mic in Burlington, and on the way, Primus came on the radio because it was pretty late, and sometimes radio is cool after the sun goes down for some reason. Radio is a vampire. That's what our takeaway. So Primus was on the radio, and it wasn't even I'm doing air quotes, a hit.
Yeah. Wasn't
Right?
like Winona's Big Brown Beaver.
It was
just
not
got
Tommy the
rid of-
Cat. It
Yeah.
was not Jerry Was a Race Car Driver.
It was Mud.
It was like a deep cut that I forgot the name of, and like I didn't recognize it. I was like, this bass tone is so dirty. What is this doing on the radio? And it's like, it was punk rock, but it was like obviously being slapped, but it wasn't that like pristine, like sparkly bass tone that everyone goes
I'm playing
for.
with Whitney Houston.
yeah, exactly that bass tone. And I was like, but the playing was just so aggressive and proficient and interesting. And then I hear Les Claypool's voice come in, and I was like, oh shit.
there you go.
Obviously. And the Claypool Lennon Delirium or whatever, that shit's dope.
What was the band that
need
he was in
more
with Stuart
adjectives.
Copeland? What was Something Head? No, what was it?
Oysterhead.
Oysterhead.
Yes.
Trey Anastasio, Les Claypool, and then
I listened to that when it came out, but I forgot it existed. I bet I
I've
would
never
appreciate
heard
it even
that.
more
Oh,
now.
it's wonderful. So it's Stuart Copeland from
Yeah.
Police, Trey Anastasio from Fish, and Les Claypool on bass.
What a mess of
It's
great
good.
times.
It's so good. I love that album. I forgot it existed until now. Oysterhead.
You know what my favorite thing about doing this is that when I edit it, I then have time to actually check it out. So I open a tab that's that.
Oh, you can
and then-
check out all the things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Oh, that's good. Very
Like
good.
that. Was it? Was the band called Can?
Oh, yeah.
That changed my life, man. That was.
Oh, that's so cool to hear. I love Can. Apparently, the singer that sang with them is going to be in Toronto in April.
Oh.
And what he does when he's on tour, my friend is going to actually be playing in his band. And she was like, yeah, he goes to different cities and just hires musicians from that city to jam with. because he's a vocalist. I'm guessing he plays instruments. I haven't really I've just been listening to the old Can stuff from the 70s and everything for so long. I forget that all of those guys have been musicians the whole time and released stuff since. So
Yeah.
I gotta get back over there and AKA a computer.
See, I heard Chuck Berry did that, but that's blues. It's a lot more, there's a mutually understood tradition to that music that once you know it, you're kind of in the club, and then you're free to keep getting better at it and doing those gigs. But I don't know what what are their song forms like?
They just
listened
made
to the
a
album,
band and we're trying to just break what a style is almost.
Yeah, but he's not. Is he doing those songs?
I don't know. He might jam some of them.
When is that? I want to.
It's gonna be. I think it's April 8th. So everyone, let's get on down to Toronto.
Let's go. Yeah, see the singer from Can.
Yeah, I don't know what that will be like, but I'm sure it will be fun.
Let's text him for details.
The theme of this podcast is how many people can we try to get in contact with?
This
Probably
gets
more than we realize.
yeah.
Mono Neon.
Definitely
the vocalist
less
from Can.
Claypool.
Oh.
I mean, with
mostly
musician
repeat.
schedules,
Yeah.
he's just sitting in his underwear in a hotel room, just and then the phone goes off. It's oh yeah, whatever. That's cool that you're doing this.
Yeah. Maybe he'll come and be on your podcast. You never know. You can just tweet him and be listen, I know you're in town on the 8th. Want to come hang in Hamilton for an hour? Or forever?
Yeah. Dear Mono and Neon, would you like to live with me? We used to have a cat and we might have one again soon, and there's lots of instruments for you to play, and I make really good coffee. Send. Snowboarding emoji.
I always lose socks, so you can use my spare socks for your bass.
I have a lot of single socks. You will never run out.
Oh, man.
It's one thing I've never paid attention to. It's if it's always the same sock.
No.
Or is it a different sock?
I think there's different colors.
Yeah? Maybe he has a different sock for every bass.
Whoa. Now I'm confused because
Oh.
now I just answered so confidently and I don't actually have any evidence. I gotta check.
I'm going to do some research tonight.
Is it the same stock?
Yeah. Watch as many Mono Neon videos as I can.
Is it?
I would
stop
guess
roasting him.
that he has. Is he always using a sock though? Always, always, always.
Is he always Mono Neon?
Oh!
Maybe once in a while he's dual pastel.
I mean, you don't brush your teeth as Mono Neon. You don't.
his toothbrush must be lime green.
Imagine it's just regular. Imagine it's just one of those regular white crest things with a navy blue. Just imagine the New Balance sneaker of toothbrushes, and he's brushing his teeth with that.
Yeah, what does the Primus of toothbrushes look like?
The Primus of toothbrush
No,
is
they'd be,
an organic.
super rad, but underground. So you're talking about organic bamboo.
Yeah.
that you would buy at
But it has a curl on it. It's polished.
Yeah.
It's
it
like
has
his
racing
yeah.
stripes that go down the center of it.
Yeah.
I actually have a canoe paddle that looks like a Les Claypool bass.
Nice.
And when you have a canoe paddle, you have to name your canoe paddle. So my canoe paddle's name is Claypool.
That's amazing.
It's a very nice paddle. It's got it's like his bass that he has with the two-tone wood striping down the center of it. It looks exactly like that bass.
Yeah.
So Claypool is
That's
my
his
paddle.
basses are from this one man operation. This
Yeah.
guy makes 8 basses a year.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
What a guy.
I know. That's
I always flash back to high school and seeing him for the first time where he's just Jerry was a race car driver where he's just wearing the red full length
they were
long
in
john.
that phase, huh?
Yeah, that's when I got into Primus.
Nice. I saw Les Claypool with the Flying Frog Brigade, which is a very interesting setup. It was him on bass and vocals. Then there was a drummer, and then a percussion and vibraphonist, and then a guy who played electric cellos, and he had they had original music for that, and but for the Primus stuff, he actually had like lifted the Larry Lalonde solos from the guitar and was like running them through the pedals. And I remember like being fixated on the bass or the drums or something like that and being like, oh, fuck, Larry Lalonde rips, and looking back and being like, oh, it's a cello.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
So amazing. And then I saw Primus once when they had done like a reunion. And
I've only seen them once. I saw them when they came out with what was after the album that had Winona's Big Brown Beaver. What was the album after that? And they got a new drummer. That's when I saw them. But I forget what that album was.
oh, what did the Brown album have on it? That was one of the later ones.
The Brown album was, the cover of it was just brown, I think, was like, or like wood paneling. Maybe I'm wrong with that.
Yeah.
The one that when I saw them, it was, the album cover was like a cartoony face. And I think Brain had just started playing drums for them. But that's when I saw them. I didn't
like
get to,
Lacquerhead?
I didn't,
Or the one with Lacquerhead on it?
I think the one with Lacquerhead on it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was
I didn't
a good
get to
time.
yeah, it was good,
kinda
but I wanted to see them with like Tim Alexander because I love Tim Alexander, like
Right.
the original Primus.
Yeah, their lineup, or the drummer changed a few times.
Yeah,
It was always
a couple times, and then Tim Alexander
Larry
came back
Hunt's-
later on.
What an adventure.
You've been playing Frank Zappa stuff lately.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I
With a prog band that I play in with Bob Shields.
Yay.
You playing a band with Bob Shields?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I still am like, oh,
Bob
He invited
working
me.
a wah pedal
Oh, I
is
bet.
one of the finest things you will see in
I
your
bet,
life.
man.
he's such a pro.
Him with no pedals is phenomenal, but I imagine like him getting to fiddle with doodads would be
With the
even cooler.
doodads, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you're so proficient on an instrument that you don't actually need anything to buff it up, and then you have those things to buff it up.
Yeah.
Like before when you were talking about Thundercat, like him on a regular bass with no pedals
Already
is
so
just phenomenal. But when you put like a bunch of pedals behind him, it's like Thundercat. But like him with no pedals is still like he's a ripping bass player.
That's true.
So I can just imagine what Bob Shields does with stuff.
It's cool. My goal in the prog band, because we play a bunch of different prog bands, so the tone that you would want to have on a Yes song versus a Frank Zappa song versus like a King Crimson song, they're all super different. So I'm just trying to see how much I can do without any effects.
Yeah.
And so far so good. I think I have like a middle ground that seems to work with like all of the songs. But it's pretty crazy like listening to how much like Bob gets like almost exactly the same sound that they have.
Cool.
And for him, he's got, I don't even understand gear really, but he's got like a computer that he'll bring to practice, and like if he
that
gets
he
a
processes
setting
his guitar.
that he
through.
likes, he'll like save that setting into his
Oh,
pedals.
smart.
But
Yeah, but he said he like lost all that data before the last show I saw of.
or it got all mixed up somehow or something.
Yeah, right.
So, like,
he brought
all
the wrong floppy disk or whatever, and
the file names, or yeah, that it's really hard to play prog songs because they're so long and they have such specific parts, and a lot of them I don't think Yes is playing with the metronome ever, so that makes it interesting to capture the feel, because it's like the literally like same with Genesis and a bunch of those tracks, they're just speeding up and slowing down. So then trying to like get that correctly vibe wise is
do you find it's do you get to like, oh, this chorus or refrain they speed up quite a bit here, we want to match that type of stuff?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know in my mind, like, especially when we do fourth or fifth, like, going into the slow section, it starts to speed up, and then it slows down, and then it speeds up going into the organ solo, and then it slows down, like, in the middle. There's all these parts where I'm like, I think if you can't even really calculate it, you just have to play it a lot of times.
Right.
But it's tricky. I wish that there was more time in the week. And
Same.
I like
Ditto.
teaching a lot, but I wish I could teach less so I could teach myself instead, because I get super scared to play those prog songs, like lots of anxiety because they're so confusing. And because I've tried to like have a middle ground between all the bass tones, I don't actually match any of the bass tones. So I just feel like I could do a much better job if I was just doing more of that and less of other things.
Yeah, tone can really take you, tone chasing rather, can really eat up your time.
Yeah.
Well, there's so
Even
many
though-
variations. Like
When
even-
you nail it, it's
even
worth
on
it.
Even on one
But-
pedal. Like I don't play a melodious instrument, but like when I watch my friends, like even on one simple pedal that has 5 dials on it, and it's like infinite amount of variations on what you could create as far as your sound is concerned.
Yeah, I think it's important to fully appreciate what each link in the chain is doing before you add another one.
Yeah.
Just like, and then a lot of the time when you go back to kind of like inspect those different, like this distortion pedal, and you're like, oh, I haven't even tried dialing in this sound or this sound. And it's cool because it can add like this novelty to your playing that inspires you and makes you write songs and stuff. But it can also become this thing where you're just like looking at gear sites and being like,
Yeah.
oh, I would sound good playing this. Imagine my guitar plugged in through that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Don't actually
true.
get around to playing.
I think the main thing is that, like, I can't actually play as fast as Geddy Lee. Like, I can't make those jumps as fast as he does.
Do you know
yet.
about his
So,
attack style? Have you watched him do this shit?
It's pretty crazy to see, but I
It's-
don't know. I don't really understand. I just know he has fingers that are probably twice as long as mine.
He uses like his index and middle finger as a pick, and he'll like.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So sometimes, yeah, he's like. He even said, "I don't recommend it to anyone. I'm just telling you what I do."
This is not safe, but here's what I
Yeah.
do.
So he has the option of like plucking super hard with 2 fingers, kind of like an upright player.
It sounds like a slap once in a while, but it's not.
Yeah.
And it's very bright tone, despite the fact he's using his fingers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just so fast. So before I can even get more pedals, like, I'm literally just working on how to play bass faster. 'Cause
He uses the back of his nail too.
what a
So he'll like
So he would, like, upstroke
he'll
and
alternate
downstroke?
pick like this,
Whoa.
like a flamenco player.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Does he have
This
super
is
long?
And he never uses 3 fingers,
But does
but
he have
does like
long fingernails on those fingers, or is he just using his fingers, just the tips?
his fingernails.
Also,
No, but he doesn't have them like longer. He's just using like the edge of it as like the point.
So
where
he's not
it
like
snaps.
a flamenco guitar player that's like 6-inch long.
He's got like
No,
this
no.
bass
Wolverine
version
nails.
of it.
Cool.
Yeah,
This is opening a new door for things, because I've just been working on it. I'm like, one day I'll be able to get it as clean as him.
no, it's like because it's like a trick. You can't like. And the feel too, because you get like a different accent pattern
It's very
from the
different.
pad to the fingernail, right? So that's layered into the Geddy Lee sound. And even if you're playing it flawlessly with a pick, your downstroke sounds a lot closer to your upstroke than his top of his finger
He's
does
got
to
a
his
different
fingernail.
dynamic just because of the way that he plays.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
this is
cool.
so
when he plays fast
amazing.
lines, so with the dun, 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 right? The
Yeah, getting that articulation is almost impossible just doing like,
but when you think about that happening, it's smaller circles, right?
yeah. Of course he can go that fast. Oh my god, I'm so excited to practice bass now.
I'm so excited to go home and watch Geddy Lee videos.
Yeah, like
Do it. Yeah. Fucking shout out to Geddy Lee.
yes.
Oh,
I was never
man.
a big Rush fan. Never. I don't mind the music. Like I will say this: the Rush songs that I really like, but I'm not a huge Rush fan. Mm-hmm. Mostly because of Geddy Lee's voice. It gets me.
Don't listen to him, Geddy.
No. Geddy Lee, keep doing what you are doing because you're a fucking icon and a legend in an industry. But like, yeah, don't just because I don't like your voice so much.
He's used to that, I'm sure.
I'm
He's a
sure
grown
he is.
man.
I'm
he
sure
seems
he totally
very happy.
is. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he's heard it more than once that somebody doesn't like Rush because of the way that his voice sounds.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, he says it. But speaking of like recalling a time to I woke up to I had this summer job at a factory, and every day I would put on Spirit of Radio as soon as I got up. I wanted to sleep in as late as possible, right? So I just got myself so pumped listening to Spirit of the Radio.
Oh, that's cool.
Begin your day with a friendly voice. I'm just like, fuck you, let's do this.
That's a good strategy.
I'm sure Geddy Lee would appreciate that more than, I don't really like Geddy Lee's voice. What time's your yoga class?
Oh, it's not till 4:30.
Oh, nice. Where do you practice?
I've been going to the Circle Studio.
Nice. I know people that teach there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They're really nice.
I've heard good things about that place.
Mm-hmm.
I took a class or two there. It's a very nice space.
I keep meaning to go out and do more yoga classes at spaces, and I never do.
Mm-hmm.
Just 'cause I'm so strapped for time.
It makes sense. It's like hard to make sure that there's always time to go.
Yeah.
Because it's like you definitely want to make sure that there's enough time before and after as well.
Yeah. And for me, it's just easier to go to De La Soul because I teach there, where it's like there's usually a class happening after I teach or before I teach.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
But I want to go and do other studios. Like Suru. I want to go to Suru sometime soon.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
We
Where is that studio?
Crystal and I do like a looping and yoga class where I just kind of just paint the time with ambient guitar loops.
Whoa, that's
While,
awesome.
It's so much fun.
Is it mostly improvised stuff that you're doing over top?
It's all improvised. Yeah,
that's
sometimes
cool, man.
the day of we'll do a flow together, or like the week of.
Yeah.
We'll do a flow together, and if I'll record it like in a demo or a voice memo, and when I listen back to it, I might be like, oh, this was good. This I'll kind of take notes on just if there's any. So I like to have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's very like in the moment, right? So like
That's
everything
awesome.
I was like thinking it's this kind of day, and then not the people who come in are not having that kind of day. They're having a different kind of day. I'm not going to like,
this is the kind of day I want you to have.
Yeah.
I'm the same when I teach. Like I might even go, very rarely do I ever sequence anything, especially these days.
I'm pretty upset you've never put on a Tool song while I was in a class.
So here's the deal with that is that I've been asked several times by some of my friends to run what I call I call it heavy flow.
Of course.
Is the idea of it. I want to call it a heavy
because
flow.
heavy music and yoga flow.
Yeah, and yoga flow. And some people are like, it's like, they're like...
And you're like, grow the fuck up.
And that's the thing is they ask me, they're like, that's the way that some people describe their period. And I'm like, yeah, I'm
And obviously
40
I know.
years old. I think I know that term. But I have curated several playlists that cater more towards yoga with heavier music.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be like so badass to be in Warrior or whatever. And you're like...
And like
Just
caffeine from Faith
screaming.
No More is banging in your ears. And I'm like, yes.
Ooh,
Just
I love Faith.
so there's a surprise is that caffeine from Faith No More is one of like go to like heavy flow playlist songs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's in the works. I'll let you know when it happens. So we do a heavy flow.
I'm there.
Like there's some Meshuggah on there, and there'll be.
We have to go to this class. When?
It hasn't been planned yet, but one of the Shavasana songs is what's that song from? There's a really slow song on Far Beyond Driven from Pantera. It's like more near the end, and that's sort of like
Planet Caravan would be killer.
Yeah. And like that, playing stuff like that on like Shavasana, but it's like there's still stuff there, but it's like nice and low and mellow. And
I
love that.
I helped Crystal put on a Deftones yoga. For a whole month we picked out the like most atmospheric Deftones tunes, but also we got some really like heavy shit in the middle in there. And yeah, we did that at like Halo Studios, and people actually came out and
cool.
People would love that.
Even like first time yoga people who were just like, wow, that was, and like they came just for the music and the novelty of it, but then they're just like, oh, I really enjoyed both of those things.
Yeah. Well, like my friend Monica teaches what she calls punk rock yoga, and she's like,
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and so she's playing punk over top of her style of teaching, and it's like she'll throw out F-bombs while she's teaching and stuff.
Have you been to one?
No, I haven't. I'd really like to.
So fun.
And she does it. She started off doing it in like sort of like guerrilla locations, like is it the Gown? Yeah, Gown and Gavel. She would work at Gown and Gavel, so she would teach classes at the Gown while people are there drinking. And so it's just a yoga class that's happening, and she's curated the playlist, and there's also people that are just like getting smashed. I'm like, this is awesome.
Whoa.
That's exactly I like that. It's like breaking down the barriers of like what it means to be mindful. You can be mindful everywhere. You can pay attention to how your body feels everywhere you are, and you can also like be yourself everywhere you are.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to be able to even go to yoga classes sometimes where it's like, these are my peeps. Like, I don't want to go and do a yoga class where they're playing like sitar and tabla music in the background. Like, I want to go do a yoga class where there's like Dead Kennedys or Meshuggah. Right? That some people want to be able to go and just do that thing with the people that also want to do that thing. But I also agree, like, mindfulness is everywhere, right? So
yeah, why does it have to be this hour of this day of the week?
It seems sometimes like socially you're required to like check that at the door. Sometimes,
sometimes,
like, oh, this is a party. Don't be a downer.
Yeah,
but
even like let's say from a mental emotional perspective, is like sometimes when I feel down, my go-to is Bob Marley. Like reggae usually makes me feel better. And I remember one time something happened, and I just got out of a yoga class, and I think I had a weird conversation with somebody, and then I get in my car and I'm upset about something, and I put Bob Marley on, and Three Birds is like my favorite Bob Marley song ever. So I put on Three Birds, and I'm like, this isn't fucking doing it. And then so I forget what I put on. I think it was like, do you remember Threat Signal? They were local. Yeah, they were a local Hamilton metal band. And I put on a Threat Signal track, and it was just heavy as fuck. And instantly my heart settled and my stomach softened, and I was like, I didn't need to try to make myself happy. I needed to reinforce what I was feeling with music that expressed what I was feeling. And I was like, this feels good. I just needed some chunky guitar and some double bass pedal. Now I'm good.
Actually, I wanted to thank you for like the last time you were here, our conversation like really made me check in with that, like a part of myself that I lost that liked like heavy and progressive and like weirder music.
Cool.
Where I felt like I was trying to, I don't know, be a more useful player. Like I felt like my the instincts I was developing from listening to like Rush songs and being like, this bar should be in 5 or something like that. were making me like make poor decisions while jamming with people who were like working at a gig. And I was like, oh, I gotta kind of like tone this back. And I felt like I'd gone too far in that direction. And then we had that talk, and like I remember. Like, I never stopped listening to it. I remember I had Glassjaw on when you got here.
Yeah,
and you were like, awesome. Oh, Glassjaw's sick. And I was like, what?
Which is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite albums. So when I walked in and you were playing it, I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Yeah, but then, I don't know, just the way you were talking about it and incorporating that into, like, a stillness practice, like in your daily life. Like, it doesn't have to be this kind of energy. You can just be like taking it in. And, and I was just,
there's something that I say in classes often where there's like a really old Buddhist text called the Satipatthana Sutta, which is 4 foundations of mindfulness. And there's a line at the beginning of it where the Buddha says, go find a quiet place under a tree somewhere or in an abandoned building. And then I'll usually make a joke about how East End Hamilton is like prime real estate for meditators, apparently, because there's so many abandoned buildings.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there with their eyes closed.
Yeah, I'm like, it's going to be either that or that scene from I Am Legend where he walks into the warehouse and there's just a bunch of zombies huddled in a corner, like all breathing together.
East End zombies, new band guys.
But in my opinion, it's like that's a good way to start, or like what you're saying with like starting bass, like just start simple and it doesn't have to be complicated. And where was I going with that?
I think the point you were making is that we just started a band called the East End Zombies.
East End Zombies. No, so the idea that it's like you want to start off in a relatively controlled context that's easier to learn in. And for meditators, it's like, okay, we want to be in some place that's quiet and maybe dim lit and maybe there's some scented candles and some whale sounds happening. But then not every moment in life is not going to be like that.
But you can still feel fulfilled no matter what's going on.
Exactly, right?
Sometimes you need to have something going on to be fulfilled too. And I think that's hard for people to accept. Like, they find out about meditation and they're like, oh, this is the answer, done. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, this is the answer, let's start. Because, like, if...
You found the road. You came upon like the sign that goes road.
Now we walk down that road. It's not like, okay, that's where I'm going. Gonna sit down now.
Yeah. No, you walk and you look at the flowers and you grab a piece of fruit off the tree and maybe you hop over a little some rocks going through a pond.
Mud and it's like some cute birds.
Yeah.
And
that's what I even liked when you were talking about learning like stylistically prog rock and the Geddy Lee stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's like, it's an uncomfortable situation. And yet there's a part of you probably that just sits down and like really focuses in on what is the sound like. And although you're not trying to mimic the sound because you've sort of found a middle ground sound for like the Yes and the, like the other prog rocky bands. But
I also just want to sound like myself.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a,
you're not
part
doing
of me
like a
that
classic
believes
albums band. So
no, I don't want to do
you
that.
guys are all...
No, and if we keep in mind
to
that
be
like,
yourselves in it,
like especially with mindfulness and yoga as being like the underlying current of those practices is self-inquiry, right? Mm-hmm. So even being able to recognize that you don't want to sound like those other bass players, that you want to put yourself somewhere in the middle of that, and then that becomes the question, right? Is like, well, who am I in the center of me playing other people's material?
Like how do you do it justice but not? It's kind of like as a classical musician, which I am not. But I went to school to do that, and that's how I learned I was not. Mm-hmm. That was really interesting process because it's like
it's all
now
mimicry.
as like a jazz, like then I switched to go to school for jazz, and I'm like, okay, people are still treating this the same way they were treating the classical, where they're just copying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, really, I want that thing where it's like, how do I be myself through music, whether it's a part that's pre-written or a part that's like completely improvised or something that's in between, because I think a lot of rock is actually in between. When those bands play their songs live, like there's still parts that they improvise and there's still lines they always hit, and that's really kind of interesting. Like it's with the meditation thing too. It's like, is it this or that? It's kind of both.
It's both, always both.
My music history prof, or it was called Survey of Music, and it covered like everything we call classical, the evolution of all that. And I always think about when he talked about the Baroque players only fucking with tiered dynamics, where everything is moderately loud, but you subtract instruments. And then the Romantic composers like requested and wrote into their music how loud you play things. You vamp up here, the strings come in gradually here, and it's like rock music. You get like maybe you get bricks that are riffs, and then you have transitions that are like the cement, the sticky stuff that holds that shit together, and that's where you.
Cool.
So it's not like jazz that's
cool.
like a maybe like a mud hut, or I don't not a mud hut, but like it's like a clay building where it was all
It's made on the spot. Super,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just out of what's in the
What's
area.
there. Yeah.
What's there? We're gonna build with this.
Yeah, whereas rock, you build your bricks, and then you take them to a show, and you're like, we're gonna put them together
Yeah, you put
on
them
this stage.
I feel like
right in front
jazz
of
has
you.
bricks, but they're just all throwing them at each other.
They're throwing them.
Catch it! Can you catch it? Can you hear this?
Oh, that's so fun. I hope it's not actually bricks. Maybe something like
Legos.
Legos.
that's awesome.
Soft bricks, like inflatable bricks.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Steve has to go.
I gotta go soon. Yeah. This has been wonderful.
It's very lovely
You
chatting.
guys are
with
both
you
wonderful
guys.
people.
You're
too.
wonderful.
So it was such a pleasure to meet you.
You're
You
wonderful
too.
for listening to this. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, where's that keyboard? We need a wonderful song.
No.
What's your exiting beat?
Oh, I'm so down.
It was going to be Wonderwall. But for you guys, it won't be. Oh, shit. Goodbye.
That's it. This is gonna be Wonderwall, but it's not Bam. And that's the end of the book.
I said maybe gonna be the one that saves me.
I'm marching off into the distance. I feel like I'm playing Legend of Zelda or something.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was Wonderwall. Did you hear it in there?
I loved it,
Thank you.
after all.
Politics.
Oh, shit.
This is sick.